Hey guys, welcome to Motoroids. My name is Amit and this is the new Skoda Octavia, probably one of the most anticipated premium sedans of this year. And there's a lot to talk about, so we'll make it quick. And the size, as you would expect with all new cars, has increased. The width is 15 mm more, the length is 19 mm more, and boy does this car look handsome. It's the typical Skoda design that still has a lot of allure to it. Very handsome, very clean cut, straight lines, and in this segment this car reeks of premium, understated, elegant lines. And if you are someone with an evolved taste for automotive design, you are definitely going to like it. You have these very strong creases on the bonnet, a very well defined Skoda grille, and these beautiful looking LED headlights with these LED DRLs. Now there are two options here. There is the standard LED and these adaptive LED lights. There are two variants and I'm going to let you know all the differences in a while, but for now I'm going to talk about all the features on the top of the line Lauren and Clement variant. You also have this beautiful LED fog lamp with cornering function. You have front fog lamps, but you don't have a 360-degree camera, so you don't have a camera here or on the wing mirrors. And on the bumper you have this honeycomb mesh design with this chrome strip. It really is understated with the chrome in the right places. Very angular, very beautiful. And if you look here, you have these elements here which represent the Czechoslovakian glass making art, and the headlamp design also is a little different in the two variants. But this front for me works really well. It's muscular but in an understated manner. Now these wheels that you see here are 17 inches. These ones are the more premium ones. There is another satin silver variant which is available for the lower variant. Ground clearance 137 mm with one occupant, and fully loaded it's 106 mm. It's quite a long car, but with those clean, elegant lines, it does look beautiful and very proportionate. You have this chrome lining around the entire greenhouse area. The B pillar is painted in piano black, and these ORVMs have these LED blinkers as well. The beautiful Lauren and Clement logo is right here on the fender. There is a shark fin antenna, and when we talk about the roof, there is a serious omission. There is no sunroof here, and I really think that that's a bummer. This is a CKD unit and the international version does not have a sunroof, and so doesn't this. And I think despite being loaded with a lot of features, safety or otherwise, I think that's one feature that probably a lot of customers are going to complain about since it's missing. There's a 50-liter fuel tank here, and like the front, you have sensors at the rear as well. Now these tail lamps also are all LED, and with the tapering shape towards the inside of the trunk, they look very nice and give it a very sporty look, especially when you are looking at the car from the rear or from the side. Now while the blinkers at the rear are LED and swipe out, the ones at the front aren't. The Skoda and the Octavia lettering makes the car look even more premium. And then when you open the boot, you are welcomed with the enormous Skoda Octavia boot, which has always aced its segment. This is 600 liters of enormous boot space, and the seats also are 60-40 split. So you can split the seats, you can fold them down and increase the boot area to 1550 liters. So in terms of the cargo space, this is enormous. But that's not all. You can flip those seats using these levers here. So that's an added convenience. You have this whole network of nets so that you can put in stuff and it doesn't roll around. I really think that it's a great feature to have, because oftentimes we put stuff and then whenever you're going through ghats, it keeps on rolling around. So this is a very ingenious, very useful feature that Skoda have provided here. Now you also have this hanging shelf of sorts which is adjustable, and you can either fold it completely or use these notches to put something here. It can hold a weight of maximum 3 kgs. Apart from that, you have these two foldable hooks on either side, and then on either side you have these two bays as well. Of course it's illuminated, and you also have a 12-volt power socket right here. So this boot needs a special mention, has always been a highlight of the Octavia, and it still is. Lift up the floorboard and you'll find a space saver spare. There is some extra storage space here which you may use if you so wish, but I don't really think you'll require any further space after this cavernous boot that you have. Another highlight of this boot is that it's electrically operated. Another very important thing that you guys would be interested in knowing is this camera comes with a washer, so that in the rainy days when there is muck around the camera, you can clear it and your visibility is not hampered. So now you don't have a 360-degree camera, but the camera that you have can be used even on days when you have a lot of muck flying around. Now to wash the rear camera, you have to first engage reverse, and once the screen comes up, you have to press this color button here, and here this button that you see is meant to clean the rear camera. Now you can flip the boot lid open using this button on the key, like so, and you can stop it wherever you want as per your convenience. So that's another feature that needs a mention. And another important feature that of course needs a mention is that you can open the boot by swiping your leg underneath the bumper area. Another important detail that you'll probably be interested in is that you cannot see any exhaust as it is concealed, and the twin exhaust pipes can be seen once you go under the bumper. And since we are under the bumper, I would also like to show you something which is important from an Indian perspective. You should also notice the disc brakes both up front and at the rear, which lend this car fantastic stopping capabilities. The tires are Goodyear Assurances and they are sufficiently wide. They are 205 section tires, and if you go underneath the car, you will see that there is a rough road package which somewhat protects the underbody of this car from stones, and even while you are traveling over rough roads, there is protection to protect the sensitive parts from being punctured or damaged with stones or bigger humps. Time now to get inside the car and see all the new features that Skoda has introduced, but before that, let's see this beautiful new key, and it really is something. And of late I have tested quite a few cars, but this one looks very beautiful in this piano black and chrome finish. It has 3 buttons and the Skoda logo on the other side, and it looks rather beautiful. So you have proximity sensors here. You don't really need to take the key out, and once you open the door, you will be welcomed by a brand new interior which is rather upmarket. It does feel very premium, and Skoda have taken the game a notch higher as compared to the older version. This interior really looks premium. I'll show you the details inside later, but if you look at the door panel itself, there are plenty of soft to touch materials, piano black. This insert here is also pretty beautiful. There is leather on the armrest and on the panels. So a lot of quality materials have been used. This is a completely knocked down unit, so it has been imported, and the difference in the quality and finish can be felt everywhere inside and out. Now if you look at the buttons, you have auto up and down for all 4 windows. Then you have these remote child locks for the rear, so you don't have to get out of the car to turn the child lock on or off. Then you have heated mirrors and electric controls and a folding ORVM. So all of these features add to the premium appeal of the car. And of course you have this little hole here for the umbrella, which always has been a Skoda signature. There is this little reflector here, and apart from that, there is ample space in the door panel to put a big 1.5 liter water bottle. We have a small bottle here, but you can definitely put a bigger bottle. Canton audio system on the LNK and a remote boot release, a small glove box right here, and the controls for the lights can be seen on the screen there, and you can press it multiple times to choose the setting that you want to get in. And here you have the controls for the fog lamps. Now the premium quotient is upped again by these beautiful seats which are fully electrically adjustable. There is electrical lumbar support as well, and you have a 3-way memory function for driver as well as passenger on the LNK. As I mentioned, there are a lot of differences in 2 variants, and after I have given you a tour of the interior, I am going to tell you all the differences between the 2 variants. The pedals are premium steel with rubber grips, and a very beautiful touch here is this suede leather that has been used on the dashboard and on the seats. Now while this looks beautiful, it really looks very premium. I'm afraid in the Indian conditions this is going to get really dirty, and while the leather can be cleaned very easily, this suede, since it has this fabric like texture on it, it is going to catch dirt and it's going to get a little more difficult than normal to clean. This has this beautiful spine in the middle, and the seats are contoured very well. They are very beautifully made, they are very ergonomic, and they are extremely comfortable as well, with enormous thigh support. So a very comfortable seating position. The steering is tilt and telescopic adjustable, and then you have the steering itself, which is a work of art. It's a 2-spoke steering wheel, and boy does it look beautiful. It has these black chrome and matte black inserts in various different places, and it is indeed a joy to hold. And then you have this beautiful fully digital instrument console, which is, as you would imagine, customizable. So you have these 2 dials here, and when you press them you have the option to scroll through various different options. So I can choose the background if I want. I turned it into red. You have 3 options to choose from. I can close it. On the left you have the control for the audio volume, and this button by itself, when you press it multiple times, it chooses between the left and the right view, so you can choose what you want. So for example, right now it's showing average fuel efficiency or range, so I can change it to whatever I want and select it, and then it will show that piece of information, and I can toggle between the left and the right view by pressing this button. Also I can change the view altogether, and once I do that, it turns into a more conventional looking speedo tacho kind of a combo. On the left you have the temperature gauge, on the right you have the fuel gauge, and it really looks very nice. I really think that it looks very premium. The dashboard is made of soft touch material. It really feels very premium, and there is a good interplay of different materials and colors. So you have grey here, you have piano black, then you have suede in cream, and then you have this piano black followed by this ambient lighting, which has 10 base colors, and then on top of that you can completely personalize how you want the ambient lighting to be looking. And you also have a lot of presets for the ambient lighting, so you can choose from Skoda, winter, summer, ocean, race, or your own individual ambient lighting or mood lighting setting that you have saved. At the bottom you again have a soft 2-touch material, which is a rarity generally in this class. So the quality of materials is phenomenal, and you really have to give it to Skoda that they have upped the premium feel of the cabin, and it really feels like a car cabin which is from a segment or 2 above. Open the glove box and you'd see that there is soft to touch material inside as well. It's reasonably sized, and on top of that you have space for a pen here. It's kind of a clipboard where you can probably put a piece of paper. You have a small tray on top, and it is cooled as well. Now another interesting thing that you'd notice is this drive selector, and this is now completely shift by wire, so there is no mechanical linkage connecting it to the drive line, which saves a lot of space and opens up opportunities for the designers to design it in a different manner. As you can see, this is not like the previous Skoda drive selectors. You have the park button here, and in addition to reverse and neutral, you have drive and sport mode as well, with wireless charging here, 2 USB type C sockets, and this space of course can be used to put your stuff as well. Electronic parking brake and auto hold, and this is the space for putting the key. Then you have this cavernous space under the armrest. It's sliding as well as adjustable for height. So all of this really adds to the comfort. Both driver and passenger get vanity mirrors with illumination. The driver side also gets a toll ticket holder, although it's not of much use now. You have this auto dimming RVM. You also get this type C USB socket to power your dash cam near the IRVM. A sunglasses holder, and no buttons for sunroof because there is no sunroof, although this headliner in black looks really premium. Then you have these reading lights up front. The visibility is fantastic. The mirrors may look small, but they offer ample visibility for the vehicles that are coming from behind. And the feeling while you're sitting inside this cabin is that of sitting in a car which is from a segment or 2 above. This infotainment screen also is Android Auto and Apple CarPlay compliant, and it's very easy to use. The audio system here sounds fantastic, and we checked this Canton audio system out, and while I was playing John Mayer's Gravity on this, it sounded perfect. That's a good track to test audio systems that I typically use, and the audio system here is definitely one of the better ones that I've heard in this segment. So no complaints there. You also get a fatigue alert, so if you're driving for long distances, you will be alarmed by the car and prompted to take a break. Now you have some hard buttons here also. If you press the climate button here, a lot of functions are written here in simple English. So you can defog the windows, warm your feet, warm your hands, cool your feet, or just let the fresh air come in. So this is a little different and very welcome. Apart from that, you get a very good feature here which is not generally available in cars this class, and it's the park assist. So you can parallel or perpendicular park your car automatically now, and this feature was earlier available only in very premium cars, but now the Skoda Octavia also has it. So if you're parking it perpendicularly or parallelly, the car can drive itself and help you get yourself slotted in. Of course, you have tire pressure monitoring system, and you can turn the ASR or traction control off by using this button here. Overall, the quality and the build is commendable, and I really like what I see here. I'm pretty sure that this car is going to be priced significantly above the previous generation Skoda Octavia, which was the 3rd generation. This is the 4th generation car, and it would be for good reason, because the quality has been upped, although the missing sunroof is still something that is going to be a big complaint by most of the customers. Now in terms of safety, you can always trust a Skoda. It has always been built like a tank. You have 8 airbags here, you have electronic stability program, you have all the stuff that you'd probably want, and on top of that you also have something that is called a multi-collision assist, and what it does is that when the car senses a collision, it starts applying brakes so that the car doesn't keep moving and put you into further peril and contains further damage. So that's another new feature that has been introduced, and it's obviously welcome. The seat belts, as you would expect, are adjustable here. Plenty of headroom even for 6-footers or taller people, and if you find it insufficient, you can always go down. There is a dead pedal, and the suspension here is very comfortable as well. So this car is very comfortable. The materials are premium, and I honestly don't want to get out of this space right now, but I'll have to go back and tell you what the back seat feels like. Now while the rear door panel looks exactly like the front one, the material here is not soft to touch as the front panel. While the materials on the lower side are similar to the front materials, you get these blinds here and space for a 1-liter water bottle. The arm pad is soft to touch, and the windows are one touch up and down. Now the seats, like the front, are split in a 60-40 split configuration, and the boot can be extended by up to 1550 liters. The cabin by itself is quite spacious, quite luxurious, very comfortable, and like the front, the central part of the seats is finished in suede with a beautiful spine to it, and the contouring and the design of the seats lends the cabin a very beautiful, very luxurious aura. Getting inside isn't the most comfortable. The seats are slightly low slung, but there is ample knee room, ample leg room, and this does feel like a special place, especially if you talk about the cars in this segment. There is ample amount of headroom as well, and even if you are 6'1" or 6'2", you would be able to sit here comfortably. There is no climate control for the rear, which I think is an omission for a car which is going to be priced upwards of 25 lakh rupees ex showroom. You have 2 USB Type-C sockets and a small place for your cell phone. There is some space for a cell phone here and here, along with a magazine holder. The leather upholstery is rather well done. The materials are fantastic, and this armrest here really adds to the luxurious feel. It comes with this twin cup holder as well, and then you have this through door as well to accommodate any lengthy items that might protrude out of the boot. Isofix child seat mounts at the rear and the front as well, so that's a fantastic thing to have. You have individual 3-point seat belts for all 3 rear passengers, individual headrests, and you also have these blinds, although they are manual and not electric. Another very interesting thing that you'll see at the back seat are these LED lights, which are adjustable for the intensity of illumination, and if you can just hold your finger right below the lights, they'll dim up, and that's how you can increase or reduce the illumination. So it's quite unique, and we have not seen this in any other mainstream car before. Very comfortable seats, very good thigh support. They do corset you very well, and I'm pretty sure if you're traveling long distances over 300, 400, 500 kilometers, in these seats you'd be utterly comfortable. The suspension has also been tuned to become more plush, a little bit more absorbent, and that really adds to the comfort quotient of this car. So it's as comfortable to be driven in the back seat as it is fun to drive from the driver's perspective. There is a huge hump here, so the middle passenger cannot sit here for very long distances. But having said that, there is flat enough space here. There is a headrest, so you can actually seat a third passenger here for short to medium journeys. All in all, the seat configuration, the materials and the ambience is fantastic, although I would have definitely wanted a third climate zone at the rear. Now let's also talk about the differences between the Style and the LNK variants. Over and above the Style variant, in the LNK, you will get Pulsar black alloy wheels, chrome trim on the bumper and Lauren and Clement inscription on the front fenders, aluminum pedals, Octavia inscription on the front door sills, adaptive front LED headlamps with crystalline elements and LED turn indicators, tire pressure monitoring system, electric seats for both passenger and driver, side airbags at the rear, fatigue alert system, electric rear door, virtual boot release pedal, Canton sound system with 11 speakers and 1 subwoofer, cargo elements in the boot, sun visors for the rear windscreen, wireless charger, park assist, USB chargers at the back and a USB charger in the RVM. Now the Skoda Octavia has always been identified as a car which was comfortable, which was a fantastic performer, had good handling, all in all a complete family sedan. And the first thing that you notice when you drive the new Skoda Octavia is that the comfort has been dialed up a notch in terms of the compliance of the suspension, the softness, the squishiness. It's slightly more soft than before, not as firm or as stiff as it was before, and even on undulating surfaces, on rough surfaces, the comfort can be instantly felt. This car is a little bit more soft than the previous version, and it really helps. I really believe that it's going to make it a more comfortable choice for the people who are buying it for the family. The engine here is a 2-liter turbo petrol TSI unit with 190 PS of peak power, which is produced between 4,200 and 6,000 RPM. And the peak torque here is 320 Newton meters between 1,500 and 4,000 RPM. This engine not just provides you fantastic performance, is mated with a fantastic transmission, which is the 7-speed DSG of course, but the fuel efficiency here is absolutely mind-blowing too. So this car can deliver not just on the performance front, but in terms of fuel efficiency also, it's phenomenal. So while on the highway you will get about 17 kmpl, within the city also it's easy to extract 11 to 12 kmpl, which is amazing for such a large car which is powered by a 2-liter turbo petrol. Not just that, this car is also supremely refined, and along with that 7-speed DSG transmission gives you an experience which is rather unmatched in this segment. Talking about the segment, you have the Verna here, which has 150 HP of power. You have the Camry Hybrid, which is a lot more expensive, is going to be a lot more expensive and has slightly more power, but in terms of torque, this car just smashes everything in this segment, and this car obviously will emerge as the car of choice for those who want performance. So all in all, a fantastic package, a good combination as it has always been, of a beautiful engine, a fantastic transmission and a little more comfort. Now talking about the comfort with the softer suspension, you would probably think that the handling edge of the car has been slightly jaded. Well, it's not as taut as it used to be, but like all Skodas, you can always rely on the handling of the Octavia, and this car just holds its line. Whether in a straight line or around corners, you can rely on this car's handling. The steering is slightly light in the standard mode, but the moment you switch to sport from here, the steering gains some weight, and then it's a little bit more acceptable for what we expect from the Skoda Octavia. When you're in the standard mode, there is a very little bit of free play at dead center, which I didn't like much, but in sport mode it weights up pretty nicely, and front McPherson strut suspension, rear multilink gives it a fantastic poise on the road. It's more comfortable than being overly involving. It's evolved into a more family oriented car. The feeling that you get from the car right from the get-go is that of a supremely refined, very well engineered car which holds its line phenomenally well and has added a little bit of comfort in the mix of features that it always offered. In terms of the sheer driving experience, I still think that the Skoda Octavia is unmatched in its class, and of course if you want to go the full Monty, if you want the complete experience, you can pay a lot extra and buy the 245 HP version of this car, which by far is the most performance oriented and a lot more expensive car than this one. But for a family oriented, feature laden, spacious sedan, the Skoda Octavia nails it. I think that sharp handling has been dialed down a little bit in favor of more comfort, but I am not complaining. I really think that that trait is going to make the backbenchers a lot happier. And having said that, this car still holds its line fantastically well, and this car would still munch hundreds and hundreds of miles with the driver and the passengers being supremely comfortable. Whenever you want to take things in your control, you can use the manual transmission and it's enjoyable as ever. 0 to 100 time is taken care of in a little over 8 seconds, which I think is pretty quick for a car this size, and has a mix of comfort, fantastic handling, good fuel efficiency, and a fatigue-free driver feel. Safety, I think the Skoda Octavia presents itself as one of the best options in this segment. In terms of cabin insulation, as always, Skoda has done a fantastic job, and while on the move you can hardly hear anything from the outside. If I have to complain about something, I think the tire noise, especially over concrete surfaces, is a little bit more than what I would have expected. Apart from that, the wind noise or ambient noise has been controlled phenomenally well, and the Skoda Octavia is as well insulated as it has always been. All in all, it's one car in this segment that you would want to drive more than any other car in the segment, and this has to be the car that you recommend to someone who wants a mix of a great handling car, premium features, and something that you'd want to get behind the wheel of over and over again. There are 5 colors to choose from: brilliant silver, maple brown, candy white, lava blue, and magic black for the LNK, and the style is available in white, blue, and black. There are only 3 colors for the style. There is a 4 years 1000 kilometers manufacturer warranty on the new Skoda, with a 4-year Skoda Assist and a 4-year Skoda maintenance package with this car. Now at 25 to 30 lakh rupees, this car is going to be reasonably expensive for quite a lot of you, and for those of you who are looking for value for money, the Elantra is going to come across as a car which makes more sense. But what I can tell you is that Skoda have chucked out all the smaller engines and the lesser transmission options, and at this price there really isn't any other car that can come close to this beauty in terms of its handling prowess, the sheer comfort, the suspension, and the luxury inside. So in my personal opinion, unless you have a worthy contender, this car in that price range is still a good value for money proposition. And if you're looking for something which is premium, luxurious, and offers a good balance between everything, it still holds its own. I really hope that this video was of some use to you. If you liked it, hit that like button, subscribe to Motoroids, and until next time, this is Amit Changhani signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.